Now, a lot of people pointing out like, yo, Nicki, you can't mention Diddy when your husband is actually on the sex offender registry, and that's a fact. Kenneth Petty is on the sexual, registry. If you've ever been to a Nicki Minaj concert, half of the people there are gay. The LGBTQIA plus community really fucks with Nicki Minaj. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, as well. But Nicki Minaj always seems to try to attack men who criticize her and call them undercover like she's trying to shame them. First of all, if you're an ally of that community, if you're truly an ally, you wouldn't even try to out people who haven't outed themselves. So here's the thing, Nicki Minaj is a little bit of a fraud. When you call someone undercover, which by the way, Steve Stout or any other man, we know the gay niggas. If you say Diddy gay, okay, cool. Steve Stout not gay, bro. You get what I'm saying? You trying to call men undercover is you trying to attack their masculinity. That they have to be focused on defending that rather than talking about or criticizing you on the merit of your music. Now, here's the thing. I don't agree with anybody, even myself. Again, if I'm making a music critique of Nicki, I don't care about Kenneth Petty and what he went through. Now, obviously, if it's some personal shit and she's attacking me personally, of course I'll mention that. But other than that, yeah, I don't think Nicki is being attacked unfairly if people are criticizing her on a industry-wide music level, right? So when she starts talking about undercover men, it's like you're using the thing that women use when men into not speaking about them, even if the men are speaking about them for legitimate reasons, which might be career critique. So I think that's a fraudulent thing by Nicki. Anyway, I draw a parallel with that too, Nicki, or not parallel. I take offense to that. Nicki, if you're saying that your husband was railroaded as a teen because he didn't have, proper representation in the system, intimidated him to plead guilty to a sexual offense that eventually got him to be required to register. I get what you're saying, but please stop talking gangster. Stop saying that he's gangster. And by the way, you use that threat against me. Yo, my husband want to meet up with you. What are you talking about? Your husband was accused of allegedly holding a knife to a child and forcing them to have sex. So please stop talking about any violence with your husband. I don't care. He could be the biggest blood from wherever the fuck he's from. The mere fact is that he's accused of using violence to take advantage of somebody's minor. So when you say you niggas don't have this energy for gangsters in person, we know who you're talking about. Because you've been parading behind this guy's super tough blood gang type of shit. And also, here's the thing, Nicki. If your husband does anything to anybody in this game, the nigga's already registered as a pedophile. He'll be in a rape Diddy. Come on, all this yo, you gotta see my husband. Imagine when the U.S. attorney looks at a case, you have a registered sex offender who allegedly is now threatening to use gang ties to hurt somebody. You're going to jail more than Diddy. So Nicki, you can't use this whole. You gotta pick a side. Is your husband some big ass gang member, or is he some innocent kid that was railroaded? Because we might have a little bit of pity because maybe he didn't have proper representation. But when you try to use both, we don't get it. Is your husband a super tough gang member that niggas gotta see? Or was he an innocent kid that got railroaded by the system that didn't afford him proper representation and he felt scared and just did the easiest thing to get out of it? You gotta pick a side, Nicki Minaj, okay? Because when you say you don't have this energy for gangsters in person, who's the gangster? It can't be your husband, because I would say maybe that gangster thought that he could gangster force people to give the pussy up. Stop it, Nicki. You gotta pick a side, okay? Then it says only for bitches on the internet. Nicki, cut it out, bro. Cut it out, And by the way, this goes for I was agreeing with her point at first. I'm like, yes, get at Jay. Yeah, you're sticking up to Jay. But then she started talking about this, my husband's a gangster shit. I'm like, oh, my husband got railroaded as a child, but he's a gangster. He'll kill y'all too. What? Pick a fucking side, Nicki. All right. Let's go back. Then it says, if any of those 4 cunts I named would like to shoot the fair one with the gangster. Oh, never mind. You know, I actually posted this thinking that Nicki was offering a fade to, like, females. She's offering for Steve Stout, Jay-Z, and a few other people to shoot the fade with her super thugged out, gangsta, super blood husband that is on the sexual offender registry. Yo, Nicki, you got to stop. Nicki, please just stop, baby. Just stop. Yo, Nicki, let me tell you this. I don't want to ever, like, I think you're an amazing artist, right? I disagree with you a lot about sometimes. I do think, I don't know if you're off that, whatever, I don't know. But sometimes I feel like you're just cynical. It could be stuff or whatever. But sometimes I'll be like, you know what? I could see it. Like some of your points about Rock Nation, I could see it. I want to news flash to Nicki Minaj. Your sexual offender husband, that's some super tough gangster blood, is not a part of your story, and I would not like to discuss it. Don't invite nobody for fades with him. I don't want to meet up with him. Jay-Z don't want to meet up with him. Nobody wants. Your husband, keep making kids with him. Again, you could still have the demeanor that he was innocent, cool. But that's your private life. Stop inviting other people, because that's why people keep mentioning his history. And all your points look stupid when your husband is who he is. Just talk about, like, you're a really established, high-profile artist. You don't need to use your husband that's on a sexual registry. Like, put it like this. Yo, you know anybody you're saying, oh, if all 4 of them want to catch a fade with a gangster, any of them could just tweet out the biggest ether. Okay, we would like to catch a fade with your gangster husband, but we want to catch a fade in front of the elementary school. Could he come here? What's the answer? No! So stop saying that dumb shit, Nicki. You're making good points. Stop using this little weird gangster pedophile energy to think like you're not intimidating nobody, okay? Like, the last time you put your little gangster husband in some shit, he couldn't leave the house for like 3 months with the Offset shit. They literally told him you can't leave the house. They put him on house arrest. So please just stop. Just please stop it. Stop it. Just for the love of God, stop it. But you were making a good point about Jay, but you just torpedoed the point. So like, I was actually ready to like champion her point. That I'm like, oh my God, she's trying to position her boyfriend who's convicted of a crime, and like, again, I just don't want to talk about the dude. Like, he's not a rapper. He's not a rapper, so I don't want to talk about him. I think that's her business. If she wants to be with the guy, that's her business. She has a defense for like, oh, he was railroaded, cool. He's not a public figure. Stop saying public figures like Jay-Z has to catch a fade with your husband on the registry list. Stupid. Barb's gonna show to my front porch. No, they won't. I don't think none of these things will show to my front porch. Anyway. Damn, Nick, I was just fucking with your point, man. Like, you fucked it up. Let me be clear. I'm gonna just stop reading Nicki's tweets. Nicki, and for you delusional Barbs, send this message to her. You have a great point against Jay-Z. That's an amazing point. Stop using your sexual offender registry husband to try to further the point. You're one of the greatest artists, period. You're the greatest female rapper. You don't need to prove your point by saying you have a gangster husband that will kill a nigga. You don't need to do that. Yes, Jay-Z been hating on you from what I've seen. Jay-Z got ops. You're one of his ops. Drake one of his ops. Wayne ain't really one of his ops. And by the way, I think Wayne's situation with him really, like, they have a long history from, he was obviously trying to sign Wayne. He knew Wayne's situation with Birdman. He helped Wayne with taxes. It's different. I was about to, like, co-sign her point. Then I just realized what she did. She said that a billionaire Jay-Z should catch a fade with her husband that's worth nothing, that's on the sexual registry list, who claims he's a big blood. What the fuck? Nicki, are you stupid? If Nicki never mentioned her husband, I'm all the way with her today. You could never mention your husband and win. Anyway.